Doing? My name is Josh Bierman. I'm with the N14 paramedic class from FM Ambulance NDSCS in Fargo, North Dakota. This week our assignment is called Teaching Toxicology, and what our assignment is we are to pick a form of how toxins get into the body and then kind of describe it and kind of go through it with you. And then go through some of the treatments and the assessments for it. So to start out, the routes of toxic exposure are ingestion, inhalation, and surface absorption. Ingestion, obviously, we eat something, we're ingesting it, whether it's a liquid, a solid, food, water, something we're allergic to, things like that. Medicines are really common for this, with overdoses, allergic reactions like peanuts, things like that. Inhalation, obviously, is, you inhaled it. You're spraying your crops out in the field and you inhale some of the fertilizer or the bug spray that you're using, or you're going by a car accident and you inhale the anhydrous from that tank that just ruptured, and different things like that. Surface absorption is basically something you get on your skin. It's kind of like a topical medication. That's how that's formed. You put it on the skin or the mucous membranes, and it absorbs into your system through that. Another form is injection. Injection would be like kind of like getting a shot. This does include IV drug use, but it also includes things such as bee stings or insect bites, snake bites, animal bites, where they're injecting a venom into your body. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to actually focus more on the surface absorption. So as with every call, the first thing you want to do is you're going to want to make sure your scene is safe. You're going to want to make sure that the fire department has shut off the tank or cleared the area that's safe for you to go in there without causing harm to you, then your partner, then the public, then your patient. We're going to do our primary assessment, basically the same as you would for any medical or trauma call. ABCs, airway, breathing, circulation. Are they breathing? Is their airway open? And do they have a pulse? And kind of work from there. If they don't, you're going to begin CPR. Do your interventions such as breathing for them, or that secondary, you're going to obtain a history. And this is just kind of general. You're going to follow your sample mnemonic, signs and symptoms, allergies, medications, past pertinent history, last oral intake, and events leading up to what happened before the exposure. Treatment, this is kind of the same for everything too. You're going to want to decontaminate the person. I'll go through how to do that with a absorption type patient here in a little bit, and I'll also kind of do a little example of how absorption works. So that's going to be removing the foreign substance or the toxic substance from the patient. So with, for instance, with something dry, you're just going to kind of brush it off. You're going to make sure the bee is out. You're going to remove the stinger. Make sure the snake is gone. That also kind of falls under scene safety. So there's a good chance that when you get to the decontamination part, what's going to happen is the fire department or whoever, hazmat team, is going to already have that done. That's going to be kind of their job. Then you're going to want to go through their antidotes. If there's an antidote for it, for instance, organophosphate poisoning, you're going to administer atropine, 2 milligrams, and that's going to help reverse the effects. Or, for instance, like a heroin overdose, you're going to administer Narcan, fentanyl overdose, Narcan, just different things like that. Is there an antidote for what they're being exposed to? Okay, so we're going to kind of get into a little more into the absorption thing, and this is really common with like plants, poison ivy, poison ack, poison stomach, where something touches the skin and it causes a toxic response, usually hives, things like that. It can happen to lotions. You ever put a lotion on that you get at the store, and you're allergic to something in there, and you get that toxic response where it itches, it's scratching, different things like that. And the way this works is your body absorbs things through the pores and everything in the skin. So I've got a little demonstration I'll get to here in a minute that kind of shows you, and I'm going to kind of go through the how to clear the patient and stuff. I'm using a really what I think is a fairly interesting visual aid. So basically, we're going to start. We're going to talk about surface absorption substance. Like I said, are going to be lotions, topical medications. Many poisons are going to include organophosphates, cyanide. These are things that can be absorbed through the mucous membranes in the skin. For instance, your kid decides to go to town on your can of chew. It's absorbing it through the mucous membranes. If they've watched dad chew for a while, pack in their lip, and they end up with nicotine poisoning. Assessment and management, the signs and symptoms of absorbed poisons, they're going to vary depending on what the toxin is. Um, so, and that just, there's a lot of that we get into. We can spend hours on that. Um, so kind of, like I said, it depends on the toxin. You want to take the following steps when you're dealing with an absorbed toxin. Remove the patient from the poisonous environment, like I said earlier. You're going to wear protective clothing, use the appropriate respiratory protection, and remove the patient from contaminated clothing. So fall back on that old thing. Naked is good. You're going to perform your primary assessment, your history, your physical exam. You're going to initiate your appropriate supportive measures, and then you're going to contact Poison Control Center or the medical direction according to your local protocols. This is really big. Poison control and medical direction have the resources to hook you up and tell you exactly what to do for this patient. There are apps for your phone. The Wiser app is a really good one. The ERG, Emergency Response Guidebook 2012, is the version that's current now. That can work. It'll tell you if you know what the placard is, and you can help look up those toxins. It'll tell you how to treat it, how to contaminate it, how to neutralize, different things like that. So I'm going to get to a little visual aid here. And I don't know how well this is going to work because my camera's kind of a piece of junk, but I'm going to kind of show you how absorption kind of works. So you're going to use a roll of toilet paper. This is the cheap stuff I borrowed from the gas station. Well, a buddy that works at a gas station. And that's going to represent what's under your skin. So your muscle, your vascular system, everything. And then we're going to use a little rag. That's going to represent your skin, integumentary system. Yes, I said that wrong. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to set the towel on top of your toilet paper. So this is going to be like a cross-cut section of your arm. So your skin's, obviously what your skin is for is you use your skin to not only to help hold you together, but it's also a protective barrier from outside substances. So with a dry chemical, what we're going to do, and my dry chemical tonight is going to be Fruit Punch Gatorade. I actually think it's my older brother's, so don't tell him. So what we're going to do is we're going to, with a toxic substance, and I know I'm going to make a complete mess while I do this, but bear with me. So with toxic substance, that's a dry chemical, so alkalis, bases, things like that. What's going to happen is those are going to kind of sit on the skin, right like that. I don't know if you can actually see that. So to kind of clear your patient for this, the first thing you're going to want to do, if your fire department or anybody else hasn't, is you're going to want to kind of brush that away and clear just kind of clean the area off. And you're going to use a gloved hand, make sure you're wearing like your gown and everything for that. So we're going to clean that there. Alright, so that's how you clear a dry substance. And then again, you'd, like for some things, vinegar might neutralize it. You're going to call Poison Control and they're going to be able to tell you how to neutralize that substance. The next one we'll go through is, I actually never thought of a way to use like topical ointment or anything on this, but that'd work just like, putting lotion on where it absorbs through the skin, and that can be like lidocaine that they use for numbing sites for IVs for kids, or a really popular one is fentanyl patches, nicotine patches. That all works through absorption. It slowly releases the chemical into your body, but too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. Alright, so another one can do this can be chemicals. For instance, let's say you're working out someplace with a chemical plant and you get an absorbed toxin, and this one is going to be an ancient bottle of Worcestershire sauce I found in the back of my fridge, so it probably is toxic. So what we're going to do is, what happens is this is absorbed into the skin. Let's see if I can get the camera on here. Like I said, I'm making a giant mess. So your skin's going to kind of like protect you from that. It's going to keep that stuff out of your system, but through absorption, through the pores and the mucous membranes, some of that's going to get through. So if that were an alkali or a base or something, that could cause a lot of damage to the body systems, and just kind of all around bad deal. So like I said, you're going to call Poison Control, you're going to check on everything. You're going to get your antidotes. You're going to transport and do supportive measures. If you do have the antidote, you can administer that. If not, call poison control, and they'll tell you what to do and where to go from there. Thanks for hanging out and listening, and I hope this was somewhat informative, and I'll catch you guys later.